Very rare apology from Donald Trump. The candidate forced to say he's sorry after a tape from 2005 surfaced where he said vulgar comments about women.
Hours away from the blockbuster debate rematch and Donald Trump not backing down. After this explosive video, top Republicans calling on Trump to quit the race. Will the GOP abandon its own nominee?
House Speaker Paul Ryan today telling Republicans in a conference call that he will not defend Trump, nor will he campaign with him. He also seemed to suggest he thinks this race is over.
Here's what we can say. We know that Donald Trump cratered in a very bad way over the weekend when news of that tape came out.
The party has said to people, you've got to fight your own race. You've got to do what you need to do. You can separate from the nominee.
We're back with Kristy, Sue, Basil, and Vaughn. So, Vaughn, you and I think, remember all these news cycles with disturbing detail. But here's where I think they're part of the exhibits, right, that the prosecution is trying to put into the minds of the jury. This is the motive. And these weren't affairs that happened in 07, hush money dealt with years later, and a revelation in 18. This was a micro-compacted crisis management strategy designed to suppress a story in the 4 weeks between Access Hollywood and Election Day, full stop. And this comes out October 7th. The money transfers the 28th. The McDougal story actually breaks on November 7th. Talk about this timeline that Hope Hicks really pulled back the curtain on.
Right. She acknowledged, Nicolle, that on October 7th there directly, that the conversations ended up beginning about concern about women voters and cratering support here. And of course, if you're looking at potentially more women's stories, allegations coming forward, as they were in real time during those weeks there, it was of the foremost concern for this Trump operation. And that is why the prosecution today brought forward multiple statements that Trump made himself on his social media account, tweeting out in those weeks, in part saying that this is, can you believe I lost large number of women voters based on made-up events that never happened? Another tweet on October 17th that these, quote, have impact, these phony stories. And so these were used by the prosecution to show the jury today that, in fact, Donald Trump was acknowledging that these stories, an Access Hollywood tape, hurt him politically. And that is why in those closing weeks there was not only concern about him and these stories, but also an effort to try to turn the attention towards Hillary Clinton, which is why on October 9th there, you saw Steve Bannon and Trump bring out multiple Clinton accusers at the debate just 2 days after the Access Hollywood tape dropped to try to turn this back to a conversation that included the Clintons.
I want to read again how this was. I mean, Vaughn's exactly right. And I think the thing for us to reckon with in our politics is, you know, P.S. it worked. Right. I mean, he won. This is how the prosecutors pressed Hope Hicks on the impact of the tape in terms of developing for the jury a narrative about the motive to suppress the stories with hush money payments. Shortly after Access Hollywood tape surfaces, did you become aware of reports of Trump's behavior with women? After the debate the next evening, Monday evening, we were contacted by the New York Times. Were there reports of Trump's behavior after the debate? Yes, says Hope Hicks. Prosecutor, this was the middle of October 2016. Hope Hicks, yes. How soon before the election was this? Hope Hicks, a few weeks. Prosecutor, did you attend a rally with Trump in Greensboro, North Carolina? Hope Hicks, yes. Then this video that Vaughn's talking about, Hope's is complaining there, saying that if 5% of voters believe that these allegations are true, it could hurt his standing with women voters. He's got the polls on his mind. He knows that they were here and they went down after the tape comes out. Prosecutor, was Trump concerned this could hurt his standing with voters? Hope Hicks, yes. She closes the loop with firsthand understanding of what Trump thought, what Trump said, attaches it to what he did publicly, and you have a full circuit on his motive.
Right, and I just want to come back to something that you said, because you were talking to people who were there when they first learned about it. This wasn't just concern. This was a 5-alarm fire at Trump Tower.
They thought it was over.
They thought it was over, and the damage control went so far is that he made a video that was released, which looked like a hostage video.
Do we have that? Do we have that, control room? Let's play that. Let's play that.
I've never said I'm a perfect person, nor pretended to be someone that I'm not. I've said and done things I regret, and the words released today on this more than a decade-old video are one of them. Anyone who knows me knows these words don't reflect who I am. I said it, I was wrong, and I apologize.
Right. And you
I think that came out very late in the evening.
It was quite late. I remember because I was covering we were in the newsroom nonstop, and it was late that night. I remember Hope Hicks is sort of her delivery of it was interesting because she used words like concern, and I would sort of maybe put those in all caps with a highlighter.
Freaking out.
Right. She did say she remembered that there was a category for hurricane bearing down on, I don't know where it was. I think it was Hurricane Matthew. And she said nobody was talking about that. The news cycle was the Access Hollywood tape. And then in the middle of that, there's another story that comes out that the New York Times did. And it's just important to remember it wasn't just Karen McDougal and Stormy Daniels. There was other stories that were coming out.
There are 19 women that have credibly accused Donald Trump of sexual misconduct.
And she talked a little bit about that. So this was just becoming a huge concern. And if the news had gotten out about the payments, I mean, it was you can't emphasize enough the importance of the Access Hollywood tape in this election, and she just again punctuated that today. Every witness has in their own way. Mm-hmm. But the thing about Hope Hicks compared to David Pecker is she's a friendly. I mean, she's credible and she's not a scoundrel. And she's
not a scoundrel, but she revered the scoundrel himself.
Right.
But I guess the jury has to hear the story from people close to the accused criminal.
Right, and somebody who's saying such positive things about him, I think, does become credible when they say something that is negative and that is harmful to him. Like, you could tell it was hard for her to say it, and they saw that. Yeah. I also think in terms of the Access Hollywood tape, why this matters to the prosecution so much, we heard from Keith Davidson, Stormy Daniels' lawyer, that they tried, this came out in 2011, didn't really get a lot of traction. In 2016, before Access Hollywood, they're shopping the story. Nobody's really biting. Then after Access Hollywood, now there's this great interest. And there is this sense in the campaign that this would be the nail in the coffin. It would be over if this came out. And that's why they even entertain making this payment in the first place. And even with that, they enter into the agreement and then they don't pay her. And then they make all these excuses to delay. Right. You know, Michael Cohen saying basically everything but like the dog ate my homework for why they can't come up with the payment because Donald Trump won't pay up. He doesn't want to pay her. Actually, Hope Hicks at one point said, really, you know, like that was what was coming out. Like they didn't want this payment to happen. So I think I think it was really.
And Stormy's team thinks it's because he's sort of hedging to see if he wins or not.
Exactly.
Keith Davidson was very clear on that. I think that he was very, very worried that he wasn't going to get the payment. And if the election
won, it wouldn't matter.
And if he lost, it wouldn't matter. That's why there was so much. And Stormy Daniels was calling Keith Davidson. It sounded like, if not, twice a day, every hour, saying, where is the money?